everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your little Ariana Grande wannabe here today. I've just filmed a makeup tutorial, which I think will probably be up by now, so I'll link it in the info box below. But it was very fun. Got to wear my Ariana Grande merch and ponytail and all of the makeup and had the best afternoon. But anyway, today we are doing a Q&A. I thought it'd be just nice to sit down and have a little wee chat. Instagram's got this new ask questions feature and I decided to hold all of the questions hostage for this video. Don't know why, just felt like it. Didn't fancy answering them on Insta stories. So yeah, today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Let's get into it. Will you go on next year's Love Island, please? I'm not allowed to go on Love Island. That's all I'm saying. No, definitely shouldn't be allowed on television though. What do you think has been the biggest point of growth for you this year? Well, definitely the breakup that happened in January. That was the catalyst for lots more points of growth that would not have happened if that hadn't happened. There's been a lot of points of growth which I can't really talk about. This year I've learned so much about the world in general, people, relationships, and I'm really sorry, the dogs are running around here. I'm really grateful for that because I just feel like there's so much of the world that I just didn't really have an understanding of, because I've been in like this safe little bubble for 11 years. So it's been amazing, like meeting lots of new people, understanding how people tick. Like it's just been so interesting, and I've just loved it. I feel like especially in the past 3 months, I'd say since like beginning of May, I feel like I've aged about 5 years, but in a good way. My mum said to me the other day, she's like, I've never seen someone grow up so fast in the space of 6 months, and it feels good. I don't feel like I'm an 18-year-old trapped in a 26-year-old's body anymore. I actually feel a little bit more my age, which is quite nice. That was a very long-winded answer to that question. Would you ever visit NYC again? Yes, I would. Me and Lois actually really want to come over at some point. We're planning on doing that, but then we've also been planning on going to Dubai, and there's just so much that we both want to do, and we just need to actually get our asses together and do one of them. But yeah, I think NYC will probably be next year. We're going to Dubai later in the year. I'm so excited. Current favourite TV series and any thoughts on the Bold Type season 2? My current favourite TV series, I can't remember the last time I watched something new on TV that wasn't Friends. Yeah, Bold Type season 2 is great, loving it so far. I think I'm like 3-4 episodes into it, really enjoying it. Just, that was like the best TV discovery for me this year, I think. Wait, I'm probably missing something really big that's come out this year. Maybe I should take that back. Apart from that, what else have I been watching? I still need to watch Westworld. I still haven't watched that, and that came out so long ago. Season 2. I've been watching Evil Genius. That's been really good. I think that's it. I have been so busy recently that I just haven't really been watching very much TV at all, apart from Love Island. That's all I've literally been watching. So that's why I haven't been watching anything on Netflix. Netflix must be having a hard time at the moment. But yeah, I will get back on the TV recommendations soon, guys, I promise. Can you tell us some tips on how to be more self-confident, please? I think that confidence is something that definitely grows as you get older. I do genuinely think like your teenagers are just riddled with insecurities you don't even know you have. And then in your 20s, you know you have them, but you still are insecure about them, potentially. Some people just aren't. Some people are great, and that's them. But I find as a whole, you're aware of your insecurities as you get older, and you kind of manage them a little bit better. And then you get to a point, I feel like around your late 20s to 30s, where you just stop giving a fuck. Excuse my French. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are both older and younger, and I feel like I can really see the difference. But the one thing I would say is, I know people say fake it till you make it, and I hate that phrase because I just think it's so cliche. But I do definitely think that just like repeating, like telling yourself that you are confident even when you're not, just do it over and over again until the message sinks in. Like I do think fake it till you make it in that sense does work. That kind of attitude I just like have repeated to myself over and over and over again. I'd say over the past year I think I've grown so much in confidence, and it's been because I've been kind of practicing that, and if you do it enough the message sinks in. What app do you use to make your photos and stories look like they do? I've answered this before. I'm just gonna say it in a video because hopefully it will reach the most of you. Unfold. I think I get about 150 messages every day about that app, and I could easily spend my whole life just repeating the word unfold. over and over and over again. What is the hardest clothing to pull off as someone who is 5 foot? It's not about pulling it off, it's about the fit. So for me, I find that dresses that have like almost like skater style, where they have a thick band around the waist that you can't like roll under, those are harder if they're made for someone whose body is longer, because they're not going to sit at the right point on your waist. Maxi dresses, just because you will have to have them taken up if you're shorter. Culottes are kind of a bit of a tricky one, but they're not too bad. Yeah, and then those dresses that kind of go in at the waist and have a band and are a lot harder to work with, those are dresses that I definitely steer clear of. They don't really suit me that much anyway, so I don't really mind. It doesn't suit my body shape. Do you still have contact with your ex? Yes, I do. We still got on very well, so there's that. Where are your hair extensions from? This wraparound ponytail is from Hair Rehab London. I really like it. It's actually synthetic hair, but it's the most real looking synthetic hair I've ever seen. But yeah, love it, would highly recommend them. I think their hair extensions are really good. Who are you loving on Instagram at the moment? I'm gonna put some Instagram people I love in, what do you call that? The info box. You can tell how long it's been since I filmed a video. But just because I don't know all of the ones I love off by heart. I should probably keep a list of Instagram people I love, because I think that would make things a lot easier. I will pop them in the info box below. Do you plan to travel anywhere in the near future? I think I'm going to Ibiza soon, I think. Fingers crossed. Do you have a new boyfriend? No, I don't. Still me, and yeah, I'm okay with that. Are you more of a homebody or a party goer? I'd say a mixture of both. Like, I love going out, but I also love just like being on my sofa napping. Both are great. Do you have any advice for dealing with friend hardships and the drifting apart from friends? Any relationship is never perfect, so whereas like you'd have hard times with like your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, you could also have hard times with friends, and it doesn't mean that that is the end of that. I just think it's like people go through different stages in their lives, and people do like drift apart and come back to each other throughout their lives. I think sometimes when people drift apart, they think, well, we're not friends anymore, and that's that. But actually, I have a friend, one of my best friends, we literally will like go apart for a bit and we'll come back to each other, and we'll go apart a bit and come back to each other. And I think that that is a very normal thing to happen with friendships, because it's not like a romantic partner where, for example, like I have friends that are like husband and wife and they are each other's priority, their family is their priority, so therefore their friends they kind of come back to when they have the time, because they have like more priorities going on. I don't have many priorities at the moment, so my friends are like, I'm always with them, but whereas in that kind of situation, depending on your friend's lifestyle, you know, it is normal to kind of drift apart and not be like consistently the same level of friendship all the time. I think that's just like a part of adult relationships, is like sometimes I don't see my parents for like 3 weeks and we go apart, and then we'll have a week where we'll see each other all the time and stuff like that, and I think that just naturally happens. In terms of friend hardships in general, I just think like, you know, don't hold grudges, try and be open-minded. If something's not kind of working, don't just like give up on it, but also don't try and hold on to that relationship so much that you're strangling it. I think it's good to just be very open and relaxed with relationships. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but like just don't put too much pressure on it, and don't call it a day, and just be, it's not like everything is not black and white. I think a lot of people choose to see the world that way. It's like you're either friends or you're not friends, and actually it's not really like that. You become close to certain people and aren't as close to others, and then you'll come back, and it's all like, it's like the sea, everything just ebbs and flows. Why did you dye your hair brown? Because I bloody wanted to, Emma. Yeah, I've been planning on dyeing my hair brown for a really long time, like since late last year, and I just kept putting it off and putting it off. I was originally going to go dark and have a fringe as well, and then I remembered I don't like having a fringe, and I've got a pretty good forehead, so I feel like she needs to shine. My shiny little forehead. Any recommendations for affordable clothing brands? Depends on what you class as affordable. I think brands like Misguided, Pretty Little Thing, they're pretty cool. Their quality isn't amazing. Like I prefer to go ASOS own brand over them sometimes, but sometimes their designs are really good, and there'll be things that ASOS don't have. So in that sense, I really like them. I also think New Look is quite good as an affordable clothing brand, and a lot of its stuff is actually like similar price to Primark, but I think better quality. How did you lose your weight? Please tell us your tips. Thanks. This question kind of makes me uncomfortable purely because I didn't that was never my plan, but I have slimmed down a tiny bit this year. Not massively. I haven't actually lost any weight specifically, because muscle weighs more than fat cells. Is that right? Need my personal trainer here to correct me at all times. This year I've actually been going to the gym pretty much, like, I'd say minimum 3 times a week. I really got into going to the gym this year. I really got into running as a start. Like, running is like my hangover cure, which sickens most people. But me and Lois at the moment go every single morning, and I've really just fallen in love with exercising, which is nice. Like, I feel so, like, I just feel so much better for going to the gym for half an hour in the morning, especially for me, because I don't have a commute to work, I don't walk anywhere. It's actually very hard to get your like 30 minutes minimum exercise in per day when you don't need to go anywhere. So I go to the gym and I do minimum 30 minutes on treadmill per day. I do like an uphill incline, like a really steep incline. Me and Lois both stand next to each other and do it. We'll either chat or we'll listen to our music, and then a couple of times a week I'll do weights as well. And I follow like some plans that my personal trainer set for me when I was like seeing him a couple of times a week, and I focus on a bit of like everything. So I'll do like arms, abs, legs and stuff like that. And I just do that a couple of times a week, but I found that it's mainly the little bit of cardio every day alongside eating, like I eat pretty healthily, that has made like a massive difference to me now. Like, I don't, I still eat a lot. Like, I eat a lot of takeaways. I wouldn't say I'm like super healthy, because some days I'll be like snacking on, oh, I haven't had lunch, I'm just snacking on Maltesers. Depends on how busy I am. If I've got a really like manic time, then my diet kind of goes out the window. But when I am on being healthy, I am on being healthy, and I like pile vegetables into my body. So yeah, there's kind of like, so I've kind of got a bit of a balance going in terms of like diet and stuff like that. I also eat my dinners so much earlier now than I used to. I used to wait for my boyfriend to come home from work and we'd end up eating really late, whereas now I eat dinner so much earlier, and I think that has made a massive difference to my body's like eating routine, and that's been amazing. I don't really have like sweet stuff anymore. Like, I've got so much ice cream in my freezer and I just never eat it. I used to always like sit every evening and I'd watch some Netflix and I'd eat some ice cream, and I just never ever do that now. So I think that's also made a big difference. Just like my lifestyle changing has changed the way I eat without me even, I don't care if I eat sweet stuff. Like, I'm happy to demolish a pack of Maltesers. I bought these when I was drunk the other night. I'm happy to like just eat takeaways and stuff like that, and I still do that all the time. But I think it's like the addition of actual like solid exercise every single day, and also just my eating routine has changed, and I think that's also made a big difference. Are you enjoying being single? Are you thinking of relationships in the near horizon? I very much enjoy being single. I love living on my own. Oh my god, it's the best thing ever. It's so good. I don't see a relationship on the horizon anytime soon at all. I don't really want that. I get a lot of questions about this all the time, like, when are you gonna get a boyfriend again? And it's until I find someone that makes it worth not being single, then I'm just gonna stay single. Like, I really want someone that just complements my lifestyle. I date, I've not been wowed really by anyone. I find this really uncomfortable to talk about. But yeah, no boyfriends anytime soon, and I'm so happy with it being that way. This year I really learnt to not be, what am I trying to say? This year I really learnt to be happy with my own company and not being on my own. I started out the year like I would hate being at home alone. And now I just like, I love being at home alone. If my friends are like gonna stay over and then they don't stay over, they're like, do you mind if I go? I'm like, no, get out my house, I don't want you here. I'm happy on my own. Yeah, and I think that's an amazing thing, and something that has been so valuable to me is like to learn to be fully like happy being on my own, because then I think someone else who I might get into a relationship with will just complement that, rather than being like I don't really want anyone to be like my life, if that makes sense. I feel like that's going to be worded really badly, but yeah, I think you kind of get what I'm trying to say. Why are you so amazeballs? Thanks babe, thanks. What is your go-to lip colour? Well, funny you should ask. At the moment I am loving, where is it? I'm wearing this today. I've actually got a few lip liners on underneath though, but I've been wearing this I think in a few videos recently. This is Clouds in My Coffee by MAC, and it's so nice. It's a very like cool toned like nude brown colour, and I'm obsessed with what? I love it. I really, really love it. The pigment and the like finish of those lipsticks is just beyond anything else I've ever used. Those lipsticks are freaking amazing. I love them. What is the biggest thing you've learned about yourself since being single? I feel like I made a note of some things. I was planning on writing a blog post on my phone. Hang on. I would say that the one thing that I've learned since living on my own, like since being single and living on my own, is that I'm actually not an introvert like I thought I was. I used to find that I constantly needed to like be alone to recharge my batteries and stop me from feeling anxious all the time. And now I don't need that. Like I don't need that. Like I love having other people around. I'm happy to be around other people all the time. I can do like hours and hours of meetings in London, like days. I can go for days without needing like a proper break. To the point where sometimes now I forget to have breaks and I actually have to like have a whole weekend where I'm like, I am burning out because I've just like gone too hard at life. But yeah, I just always used to think that I was such an introvert and I couldn't even like do like a dinner out with like a lot of people without feeling like completely drained, and that has not been the case since I've been single, and it's crazy. Like that to me is such a big difference to how I used to be. So that's like the biggest thing I've learned, is that I'm actually not an introvert, because that was what I used to think that the issue was. But yeah, I think you learn a lot about yourself when you are single, because you do things without fear of being judged by anyone. I have no one around me to judge me. Just in general, though, I spend a lot of time on my own, and you learn a lot more about yourself when you do things completely without fear of someone else's judgment. So it's just been quite an interesting year, but I would say that is like the biggest thing. What's the one thing in your career that's taught you the most? Struggle, experience, person, etc, etc. I would say there's a person that I feel like set the standard for how I wanted to be in my career, and that is my old boss. Her name is Helen. She will probably not be watching this because she's got shit to do, but she was just the most incredible boss. She was so supportive of me, especially when Hello October was a baby and I was just starting to run it as a business and I was still working full-time for her. And she really did go above and beyond what I think any other boss would have done to support me, in just like in her encouragement, but also in the giving me time off, in the teaching me how running a small business worked. She really did give her time. She was very generous with her time and her advice, and she just set a really good example for how I want, as someone who has a team around me, how I want to treat my team. She's an incredible human being, and I really do owe her so much, and especially that as like a mentor, an unintentional mentor. Her and her business partner Kim were just like the best duo for running a business, and they just were the most kick-ass team ever. I loved them so much, and they just taught me so much in terms of running a small business. So I'd say they have had the biggest impact on me throughout my career, but also the guys and girls that work around me in the YouTube space, that have been around me for years. They are so generous with their time and their advice. Certain people like Tanya Burr, Victoria from In The Fro, Tamara Kalinick, there's probably so many other girls, but like they are very, very generous to me with their time, with their advice. I think it's the people that teach you the most in the workplace, and I think that's also why networking is so important across all industries. It's so important to meet so many different people, not even just from a like gaining jobs aspect, but just from a learning from other people, and having really good genuine relationships with people will push you so far in life. I think that just helps a lot in general, but will help you so much in your career. That has definitely been what has helped me the most. What is your favourite online shop for clothes? I think we could all definitely say ASOS. I love ASOS. I really enjoy shopping on Revolve. Revolve is freaking amazing. Realization Par, awesome. That's 3. I'm gonna leave it there. What was your favourite day of the year so far? What has been my favourite day of the year so far? I mean, Croatia have been some of my favourite days of the year so far. Croatia was just the most incredible trip, and I loved that so much. There's been quite a few days that I've loved, just that I've spent with friends. The past like couple of weeks when there's been lots of football on have been some of my favourite days of the year. It's been really beautiful and sunny. We've all been down the pub watching football. Yeah, I've just loved it. Like I think the past like 2 months have been some of my favourite days of the year so far. But I don't have one that's like a standout. I did anything out of the ordinary with, if that makes sense. Do you ever feel like you have nothing to wear? No. I have the opposite problem. I'm like, there's so much choice, I want to wear everything all at the same time. So I've got a lot of questions like this, which is, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, blah blah blah. I don't really do that so much anymore because life changes so quickly. But what I have is like an end goal of where I want to be kind of pre-retirement. I know what that looks like, what I want it to be like, and basically everything I do now is just working towards that big goal. But it's not like I don't really have anything that I want to have done in like 5 years or 10 years, because I think everything happens at different times for different people, and things have changed so much for me in 6 months, and it's just crazy what has happened this year, and there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about yet, but it's crazy how much has happened this year. And I think like if I gave myself another 6 months and another year, like there's so many things that you can't predict, both good and bad, and I think for me, I just kind of know where I want to end up, where the end goal is, but just basically actually being able to retire instead of working until I die. The pension system for self-employed people is non-existent. It's a bit of a DIY job, but like other than having lived a happy life, I don't really have anywhere that I want to be in 10 years or anything like that. Because I think what I would have said that I wanted 6 years ago, by the time, like in 10 years time, would be so different to what I want now. So at the moment I'm just focusing on what I want to do in the next year career-wise, because I think you change as a person and then you change, what you want changes. So to me there's not really a point in doing like a whole 5-year plan, because you can't really tell what's going to happen with your life. I don't know. I'm definitely one of those kind of like roll with it, not highly organized types of people. I am organized, just not in a sense of like where I want to be in the future. Like I love working right now, I love what I'm doing right now, and that's kind of what matters. And I know what I want in terms of like a financial goal, like years and years down the line, and that's about it. Like I don't mind what else is around. I'm probably gonna have more dogs, a house, and then everything else is just extra. What would you change or would you have not changed since starting your blog / YouTube? This is a really hard question, because I'm really happy with where I am now. I always get to this point, I'm like, well, I'm really happy with where I am now, so I wouldn't have changed anything. I wish I'd been more active on Instagram. I feel like that's a part of my little world that I neglected, because I put too much pressure on it, and now I'm obsessed with Instagram because I just kind of do whatever the frick I want, and I love that. I actually feel like I'd just done whatever the hell I wanted way earlier on, and I'd not focused so much on trying to please everyone, and just kind of focused. I think when you focus on doing exactly what you want, that's when your most like authentic self comes out. So yeah, that's what I would say I would maybe have changed, but I'm really happy with where I'm at right now, so it's not like something I regret. What's your plan for your next tattoo? Well, my camera's about to die, hang on. Well, funny you should ask that. Today I got told I needed to cancel that appointment, and I'm really annoyed about it. Basically, there's a job that has come in and it cannot not happen, so but nice. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get tattooed next now, which is really annoying. But rest assured, there will be more tattoos. I'm very excited for my next few ones. I've got specific spaces that I want to fill. Me and G are gonna like sit down together and map it all out, and I'm very excited. How do you get yourself back up when you're feeling down? I think this is something I kind of want to talk about a bit more, but when I feel down, I just roll with it. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be happy all the time, and it makes the down days worse because you're frustrated, because you're like, you want to feel happy. And I just think like if there's something that's bothering me, I'll work through that. Like I'll problem solve the shit out of that if I can. If there's something I can do about it, then I will do something about it, and that will usually make me feel more comfortable with that situation. If there's nothing I can do about it, but I'm just sad about it, then I just kind of let that be, get an early night, just work through it, because I think like getting frustrated with yourself because you're not happy makes you more unhappy. So I just don't really put pressure on myself to be happy anymore. I think that's something I've learned over the past 2 years. Therapy helped with that, is learning just to like handle life's problems, and that every day is not going to be a good day, and that's fine. You don't have to be happy all the time. You don't have to act like you're happy all the time. Some days I literally sit opposite Lois and I'm just like, I can't be bothered with today. What is low? And we work through it, and it's fine. It's fine to not be okay. It's so fine to not be okay. Do you like Mondays? Yes, I love Mondays. I actually do like Mondays. It's probably the most irritating thing about me. How do you maintain a balance of work and personal life? I think it's pretty simple. Whenever I've stopped working, like when I've done what I needed to do, like if I get to like 5, 6 o'clock and I've done enough, then I just stop working, and I'll pick it up again at 9 the next day. And if I need to carry on working, then I will carry on working until I get to a point where I'm like, well, all of the priority things are done, that can wait until tomorrow. Gonna go to the pub. Yeah, it's just like a very easy work-life balance. And sometimes I'll be like working up until 11 and I'll be like replying to emails and stuff like that, or making spreadsheets or whatever. And then some days I'll have days where I finish work early, and it's just a lot of give and take. When things are quieter, I will spend more time with my family and friends and stuff like that, because I know that there will be periods where I don't see them for like 3 weeks. So yeah, it's a lot of give and take, and I think that's how I approach my life in general anyway. It's just like I just roll with stuff, because I think the more you try and control things, sometimes the more frustrating things can be. So I just roll with it, and it's a very relaxed life. And finally, are you and Alex still friends? I am going to answer this. We're probably going to address this one more time, and this will be the final time that I answer this. Yes, we are still friends. I actually did a little tweet about this the other day. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may not have seen this, but we would prefer at the moment just to have our relationship offline. There's a lot of pressure for us to film together and show each other like being together, and right now that's not what we need. So yeah, that is that. We're not going to be like filming videos together. It's not forever, but just right now we're not filming videos together or showing when we're together, because it's just nice to have like offline time, and I think that's really, really important for both of us right now. There's been a lot of change over the past year, and yeah, that's where we're at. As much as our friendship is, obviously we met through YouTube, we always have times where we see each other off camera. There's more times that we see each other off camera than on camera. You know, so many hours where we're speaking to each other on the phone, which you guys don't see. And some of the things that get written in the comments about the fact that we're not friends just blows my mind. So we're still friends. You can all sit safe in the knowledge that we are still friends. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Let me know if you would like me to do another Q&A soon, because I quite like filming these. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna finally make my lunch. I love you all lots, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.